that we get to do all that. Okay, so for today, this is part of the agenda we'll be looking at. So let me share the very agenda of what we'll be looking at for today's very session. For the name, I am Williams, and I'll be guiding you on this very program. Hello. So back to cloud computing. What cloud computing generally does is that it provides us a means by which we can access applications over the internet. So when you hear of the word cloud, you should just know that when we say something is hosted on cloud, it means it's hosted right there on the internet. For example, we can say just a quick one right here on this very platform where we are holding this very training program. This is on cloud. And if we are to date back to some years ago, before 2010, because it was exactly at 2010 where a lot of part of the computer revolution period, where a lot of cloud applications started to be dominant. So if we are to look back during those period from 2009 backward, you all agree with me that there was no meeting application like this, which could join us together, and it's a good one that with the aid of cloud applications, we could meet together. So quickly for our own agenda for today, this is what we'll be looking at quickly, which I will be presenting to you right now. I believe everyone is following. Hello? Hello, is everyone with me?
Yes, we are with you.
Okay, sir. Okay, so for the agenda, can you see the agenda, please? Can you see this? Okay, so for today's very agenda, we'll be looking at quickly an overview on cloud computing from the business perspective. So this is very, very important because it's going to give us an edge in all what we'll be looking at in this very training program. Okay. So we also be looking at the deployment models because in as much as cloud computing is a tool which aids businesses in terms of its performance, it's very, very important for you to know the various deployment models as regards how a cloud computing application is being set up. Another is also the service models, which in the course of today's class, we will also be looking at this. And also the virtualization aspect, which has to do, the virtualization aspect, which has to do with cloud computing technologies. So this is very, very important as well. We'll also be looking at the cloud computing operations. We'll be looking at cloud computing providers and applications that are very, very necessary and important for business. I believe we all are all businessmen and women. We all have one business or the other. Time will not permit me to start looking at and emphasizing on what business is in general. So it's very, very important that we take note of this for this very class, so we could be able to attest at the end of the day that we have been able to achieve not just a little, but we will develop the confidence. Because one thing about learning, confidence is very, very important. And not just you being confident at the end, also you being competent. Most times, I do normally tell my students that confidence will get you the job, but competence is what will keep or help you, to maintain that very job. So, ladies and gentlemen, quickly, let's look at our very first agenda for the day. Okay, so straight up to our screen, I'll be sharing quickly on an overview on cloud computing for business. Please take notes, this class will be practical. I am just doing this so you get the basic foundation, not when we start working on a particular application and it will be like you don't know how we came up with this term, this application, you're not well guided on it. These are more like ingredients. We know what ingredients are. For example, when we are looking at preparing a particular meal, there are necessary ingredients towards how that meal will be prepared. And you not being able to be acquainted with those ingredients at the end of the day would be giving you, you will be making errors at the end of the day and getting some delayed results in something you should have achieved in just minutes. So quickly on cloud computing is very, very important. It's a very, very important tool. And like I said, it provides us a means by which we can access different applications over the internet. So cloud computing is very, very important. Let me go back so you could see my face clearly. Okay. Okay, so as I was saying, that cloud computing is very, very important, most especially in this very world where we are today. There are a lot of tools and applications. I have used an example of this very platform where I could, see someone like Odewale Esther Omokere, Chinenge, if I could get that name very correctly. So it's indeed a good one that we are privileged to be connected. And that's one of the things that is very, very good to mention about cloud computing. It enhances collaboration, most especially for business growth. Okay. So it helps you manage resources online. With the aid of it, you can manage resources online. And I was also giving you like taking you backwards to when it started, where I was saying that over the years before now, there was nothing like this. Though from recent years, we are glad that we have such a tool. And hence we can describe cloud computing, you know, we can say it is just a process whereby we can manipulate or configure and access applications online. So quickly, when we are referring to cloud computing for business, which is a major target for this very class, what do we or how can we break this further? First of all, I want you to understand what cloud stands for. When we say cloud, we are just referring to network or internet. That's what we are just referring to. When you hear the word something is on cloud, what should come to your mind is what? Network or what? Internet. For example, we can say that cloud is something which is present at a remote location. Okay? So, same way, cloud can provide services over network. For example, when we are, by the time we get to the service models, you will then hear me mentioning models like the public, private, hybrid, and community networks. So these are very, very important because cloud can provide services on private for such users. So also good to also mention is also other examples of cloud. For example, we have applications such as the email. Today, each and every one of us have an email application. It could be Gmail, it could be Yahoo Mail. Also, web conferencing, for example, that's just a good description for this kind of meeting. Web conferencing, we have that for businesses, which looks into the various processes of a business. And it's good to mention that for every business, there are different key areas. There are different key areas of every business. And it is your duty as a businessman or as a CEO or a woman who is there in business to have an understanding, first of all, of how a business operates. And this is what forms the basis before you then start looking into how you can migrate your business activities or processes to the cloud. And why the very essence of why you are now looking at that is because you want to reach out to more of your customers, you want to expand your business, you want to take advantage of the cloud. There are a lot of businesses out there which have taken advantage of these applications. For example, when it comes to the marketing and sales aspects, we all know of Amazon. Right here, we are Nigerians. Let me bring it down here. We have Jumia. Jumia is also an e-commerce cloud application. That's where they run their business. And it will also be good for you to know that there was a statistics that was being carried out recently, and it shows that what the number of products that Jumia sells in a day, the biggest or largest markets here in Nigeria, in 6 months do not sell or get up to such results. Then you should be asking yourself that why is this so? The very good answer I will be giving you on that is just to the day. Those customers who are in other states cannot access or locate your physical business. They have that distance challenge. But once you have now launched your business on cloud, it will grant them, that access. They will have that access to reach out to you anytime, anywhere, and on any device. And that's the very reason why Jumia is making it out there. You can be producing a shoe, whatever your business may be, you have to get it out there on cloud so you could able to achieve the needed result and also see your business grow to the very level which you have always wanted it to grow. Also, when we come to the transportation business aspect, we have Uber. We all know Uber, we know Bolt. If we are to compare those kind of businesses which are operating more on cloud with the physical transportation companies, you will also find out that, for example, I could use a transport company like Chisco or ABC Transport or even that of GUO. What they are making, the kind of clients they are getting, you can't compare it with what Uber or Bolt is doing. And Uber don't have an office. They don't have an office. Even Bolt itself, they don't have a physical office branches that will say, this is their branch. Go there and book for your this. No, everything is hosted on cloud. All you have to do as a driver is just to go register your car, and automatically you will get passengers reaching out to you on daily basis that they want a ride. So part of all these things is what I'm trying to just give you like a background knowledge, an overview of what the cloud does, what cloud computing, is all about. And like as I'm saying that cloud computing is just all about manipulating, configuring, and you being able to access applications online. And in this class, we will be looking at the business perspective because it allows businesses to rent or have that access to be able to compute their services online. A good example I could also use for cloud is just like a landlord and a tenant. A landlord owns a house and he's going to rent these rooms in the house to the tenant. That's just how the cloud operates. When you come to cloud, you rent. And that's why most times we often use the word you have to pay as you use. This is very, very important. And this is just one of the ways you can be able to get started over here. So cloud computing also has basic concepts. In as much as it is important, there are basic concepts that is guiding it. And it's very, very important for you to get an understanding of these very concepts. And these concepts are very important in terms of when we are looking at security, when we are looking at options, you know, you being able to have different access. And part of this is why I would want to mention that before you move to cloud, or before you move your data or business information to the cloud, you will need to consider which, or you will need to consider these basic concepts. These basic concepts are very, very important and you need to put them into consideration. And these concepts are divided into two, which is part of what we'll be looking at in the very next agenda. These concepts are divided into two, where we have the deployment models and also the service models. Please, I believe you are with your system. Kindly turn on your system because we will be rounding up this very session, this theoretical section quickly. So I get to show you some things that we'll be looking at practically. To, I was saying that there are basic concepts that are very, very important as far as the cloud it's concerned. And we need to install a piece of software, for example, on our local PC. And when we are looking at you installing a physical software, that's normal on cloud because on cloud you don't need to install anything. Everything is being hosted for you, provided by who we call a cloud provider. As we proceed in this training, you'll get to understand and know the various cloud providers that we have. For example, if I'm to do a quick one on that, part of the cloud providers we have popular providers like the Amazon Web Service. We have providers like the Microsoft Azure. We have the Google Cloud Platform, the Oracle, the IBM Cloud, and a lot of them. So those are cloud providers who have provided, such solution, and it's left for you to be able to, access it and get started with what you want to do. So hence, cloud computing is making our businesses to be mobile and also collaborative. So these are just some little overview on what cloud computing is all about, and I believe you're well guided. Should in case any day you want to know how do we go about this and how do we come to like look into this. So quickly, I will be sharing my screen with you on a diagrammatic presentation, expression of so I just want each and every one of you to just take a look on this screen quickly. So you get to see the diagram for this very explanation. Okay, so you can see over here, don't know. Okay, let me try to bold it for every one of you to like get to see it clearly. So this is just what I've been trying to explain. This is the cloud computing, like a short one. So I was saying that you can connect to whatever you have on cloud from wherever you are. You could be in another country. It gives you that privilege. So we have several processes involved. There must be a server, a virtual desktop, a software platform, an application.
I guess the trainer is trying to fix his network. So please, guys, let's just hold on for him, please. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Please, I can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. It seems it was like unmuted. So I am showing you all the various cloud computing platforms that are available where you can go and do what? Start deploying your applications. I made mention of this earlier. So I said number one, we have the Amazon Web Service. We have that of for the Microsoft. We have the one for Google Cloud Platform. We have the Alibaba Cloud. We have the IBM. You can see them all here. We have the Oracle Cloud. We have Salesforce. We have the SAP. We have the Rackspace Cloud and the VMware. So these are the various cloud providers. They are the ones providing cloud. And there are many of them, not just this, but these are the ones that I am sharing with you all for the purpose of this very training program. So quickly, I was talking about that before ever you decide that yes, you want to migrate to your very business to cloud, that there are key um, informations or requirements that are necessary for you to consider. One of them is data security and privacy requirements. So it's very important for you. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So the aspect of data security and privacy requirements is very, very important because definitely you should be looking at how your data is going to be secure. So that is very, very important consideration you have to put in mind before you start thinking of, I want to like um, start uploading or deploying my business on cloud. Also, you have to look at budget. Budget requirement is also important. Time to time, there are clients who will come that, hello, I want you to set up an application for my business. And when it comes to their financial capacity, they do not meet up with that very aspect. So you need to look at your budget requirement because one thing about the cloud, like I said, is like you're renting a particular space. So definitely you will be paying. And some of these payments are being made subscription, we call it subscription. It could be paid like monthly on monthly basis or annually. So you need to consider your budget. Okay. Then also very, very important to mention, you need to consider the type of cloud. The type of cloud. On that note, let me share and move to show you what we mean by type of cloud. Remember, I made mention of the basic concepts in cloud computing, and I said they are divided into two. We have the deployment models and we have the service models. So the service models is also what we also do normally. It's also what we normally refer to the deployment and the type of cloud. So I'll be sharing it again with you, so you just get an in-depth explanation on that very aspect. So for the public cloud, I believe you can see this clearly. For the public cloud, like I said, it just has to do with the public usage, public access. Okay. So the public cloud, the very essence is that it allows systems and services to be easily accessible to the general public. It's open to everyone. All you just need to do is just to sign up, with the required information and you get started. Private cloud allows systems and services. It's just majorly within the organization. Only people within the organization will be able to access it. The hybrid cloud is a combination of both the private and the public cloud. So it is just a quick one on that very aspect. So it gives you that privilege to be able to set it up for public and private usage. We have the community cloud. It also allows systems and services to be accessible by group of what organizations. So these are just the types of cloud that I was referring to right there back on those very important key informations or requirements that you must consider. So, like I have listed three, I said first of all, you have to look at the data security and privacy requirements, the budget requirements, the type of cloud. Is it public for public use or private or hybrid or community? The data backup requirement is very important because one of the advantage of a cloud application over the desktop or physical one is that there is no backup here though. There is no backup where you have to come and be setting up your system. No, it gives you that access. And that's one of the challenge because when something is not on cloud, and let's say for instance, an application is being set up on the physical system, just even the normal electrical issues that we have here in this part of our country could make it to be faulty. And that's the reason why a lot of businesses are also migrating to the cloud. So you also have to look at the data backup requirement. There are a lot of data backup tools out there on cloud. We have the box.com and a lot of them. So those are very, very important. Roles to them. Let's say you are the business owner. There is what we call the super user. So you will be acting as the super user because if we are to deploy an application, definitely you will be the super user for this very software or application. You're the one who will grant access to other users in your business, and it will be in a medium of assigning them roles. Maybe you will be in charge of following up customers. You will be in charge of taking care of our inventory aspect. You will be in charge of this very just breaking it down, giving them their own specialization for them to be able to follow up consistently. So that's also another important one you need to also put into consideration, your those very client access requirements. The data export part is already enabled. You can be able to export your data on any kind of, whether it's on Excel or any of those database that you want to do. So it's very important also to note that for you to be able to meet all of these requirements, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's easy. The solution for you to be able to meet these very requirements that I have listed so far are just for you to plan. That's all. You just need to have a well compiled planning. And trust me, once you've planned, part of our agenda for today too, I will be guiding you. We will be looking at or discussing the various planning phases because now you have known these listed options. Now there are planning phases you need to understand as far as this cloud computing for business is concerned. Okay, there is a diagram I would have shared. Just discover the diagram. It's not here. I will drop that maybe on the group. So for that, we also give you like make it easier for you to get to understand these very planning phases. So just take notes through this verbal communication. Okay. So one of the various planning process or phase is the strategy aspect. So before ever you adopt a cloud application for your business, you need to come up with strategies. Strategy planning phase is very important. From my own professional field, I'm an accountant, and as far as strategy is concerned to us, there are three levels of strategy. We have the corporate strategy, the business strategy, and the functional strategy. When we are talking about the corporate, we'll be looking at what business should I go in. And I believe as a businessman, by now, you should have already known which business you want to venture into. Then we move to that of the functional, where you will now be looking at functional strategy. You'll now be looking at the key functions of your business. How will these key functions be able to help you in terms of giving you a competitive advantage with other businesses within your field? Also, the business strategy, which also look into those very aspects. But here in cloud computing, we are not just referring to these kind of strategies. We are looking at what is known as the cloud computing value strategy, and that of the cloud computing strategy planning. Okay, so take note of this because we have to analyze these strategy problems. But these are some of the problems that customers might face, and there are just two steps to perform such carry out such strategy or analysis, which I've mentioned: the cloud computing value proposition and that of the cloud computing strategy planning. So in cloud computing, there are factors which have to be analyzed because these factors influence the customers when they are applying cloud computing mode, and to target the key of the problems that they wish to solve. So I won't really go too much deep on this because we are looking at the business perspective. So just a quick one on it. For that of the cloud computing value proposition, you have to look at the business mode innovation, the high service quality, that has to do with hosting, majorly for that of programmers, the operation and maintenance cost reduction. Okay, so those are just some important ones that you need to take note of. Then we also have the cloud computing deployment phase. Apart from the strategy phase, we have the cloud computing deployment phase. And this very phase focuses on the cloud computing provider, which I've made mention of. For example, let me share the screen. Let me say I want to access this very cloud computing provider, which is the Google Cloud platform. And I'm like to open a new tab. Okay. So I could just say Google, we'll just come to Google, just say GCP is the short name for it, and just say Google Cloud Platform. So this is a good example. This is a good example of what I'm talking about, referring to the cloud computing providers. And as I was making mention, this is a good example of the Google Cloud platform. You can check this out later on. You can try Google Cloud for free without making payments. Just try it for free, and you'll get to see the very dashboard. So we'll be looking at this later on. I'm just trying to show you how you can access some of these providers. It could be you want to get in touch with the Amazon Web Service. You can also search for Amazon Web Service on your very system, and automatically you will get started on that very cloud computing providers aspect. I believe you can hear me. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we
Please,
can
can
hear
you
you.
can you
I
can
hear
you
you.
all hear me? Okay. So that's for the very aspect of the cloud computing deployment phase. Cloud computing deployment phase. The cloud computing provider is very important since they are the ones who will take charge of the maintenance and technical service. And there are also steps that includes you selecting a cloud provider on the basis of what you want. And this will define the level of service the provider have to meet depending on what you want for your very own business and initiative. So that's a good one. So quickly also, it's also very important for you to understand the various cloud computing technologies. There are cloud computing technologies which are very, very relevant and important for you to understand. So I will be sharing that with you. quickly. You can see, I believe you're following on my screen over here. So this was just a quick one on what I talked about, on what you need to know before using the cloud computing for your business. You can see them right here if I'm to zoom in, when I made mention of the data security and privacy requirements, the budget requirements, and other of these very informations. So right now I want to go straight to the various cloud computing technologies, because they are very important that you get to understand each and every one of them. So right here on my screen, these are the various cloud computing technologies that we have. I believe you can see this. Okay. So these technologies are what work behind the cloud computing platform. You see a platform like this, which we are using for this very training session. There are applications, or there are technologies that have already been put in place, which have made it easier, for this application to be running, accommodating every one of us, making us to be able to collaborate with each other. So one of it is the virtualization. You can see it here. So what this normally does is that it is just a technique which allows you to share single physical instance of an application or resource among multiple organizations. We're able to share this link to you all through this virtualization aspect. So it does so by just assigning a logical name to a physical resource and providing a pointer to that physical resource when demanded. By the time we'll be doing some practicals with an application, we'll get to understand that this is very important, as it will enable us to be able to share information with clients and customers. So we also have the service-oriented architecture. So this one helps us to use applications as a service. Okay. I did not mention that when we are looking at cloud computing for business, we can also refer to it as business as a service, because there are different service models when it comes to cloud computing, where we have the IaaS, we also have that of the SaaS and the PaaS, which is the platform as a service, software as a service, and infrastructure as a service. I'll quickly go into that shortly. So this service-oriented architecture helps you to use applications as service for other applications, regardless the type of vendor or clients. So it is possible to exchange data between applications of different clients without doing any additional programming, because everything has already been done and it's just for you to sign up. It's just like the email, for example. We don't need to come and be doing any programming, whatever. All you have to do is just to sign up and get started. So that's very important. So for the grid computing is very important too, and it refers to you being able to distribute, applications in which a group of computers from multiple locations are connected with each other to achieve, could be a common objective. For example, my system is connected to the source in, all connected. So the why this is possible is through this grid computing. It makes it possible. It breaks complex tasks into smaller pieces, makes it possible for we all to come together, to be able to communicate and collaborate very well. So this utility computing is a quick one. It's just based on the what I made mention of concerning the budget requirement aspect, where I said that you will be doing more of you pay as you use. So the utility computing technology aspect is the aspect which takes care of the pay per use model, and it offers these various applications for you to use it as per your demand level and how you want to be able to manage your very resources and tasks on the application. So this is just a quick one on the various technology we have here in cloud computing. So there is something I did not mention of, which are the service models. I've talked about the deployment models. So for the service models, they are very, very important because this could form the characteristics as well of cloud computing. So we have the infrastructure as a service. What it does, it just provides us the physical machines. And let me mention that in the course of this training, we will not be concerned with this IaaS. Okay? What we are majorly concerned about is the SaaS, which is the software as a service. So the software as a service is what is of utmost importance to us because this is what gives us, or should I say, this is the very explanation of this very training program. We are looking at cloud computing for business. And what the SaaS model does explains everything for us. It allows you to use software applications as a service to end users. And if you're following, you would have heard me mention that as far as cloud computing is concerned, that there are three kinds of users. I said we have the end users, and we also have the cloud providers and the others. Emmanuel, I saw you dropped a question. So, okay, which parts are you confused on? So, hello, Emmanuel.
I'm with you, sir. I'm with you.
Okay,
The very service model now, that is where I'm confused because the thing is just like um just coming up with, I don't know the direction of where that was just coming up from.
okay. Is that your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When I started earlier, I made mention of that cloud computing has basic concepts. Are you with me? Can you take a look on my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I made mention that cloud computing has basic models. Are you there? Where I said that
Yes.
there are certain services and models working behind the scene that makes the cloud computing to be feasible and accessible to the users. And I said one of
No.
them is the deployment models. The deployment models has to do with how you set it up. Are you with me? It guides you on how you
Yes.
set it up, how you deploy it. For example, you would have heard a company saying that they contacted an engineer or a software developer to come and install a software for them. That process of installment is being also referred to as deployment. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Good. And I said that in as much as you deploying a software is concerned, that you have to look at four different aspects as far as deployment is concerned. Are you deploying it for public users? Are you deploying it for private? Is it within a company or is just something you want to deploy generally? For example, I say when we are looking at public, we are talking about email. Are you following?
Yes.
Those ones are under deployment models, where I say we have public, private, hybrid, and community. Now, the
Oh,
service is the second basic concept. We have the infrastructure as a service. That one has to do with machines. That's the physical ones, you know. Are you with me?
yes.
Then I now made mention of the platform as a service. That the platform as a service is also another service model here in cloud computing, which I said that it
No.
provides the hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. Now the platform as a service is just like this application we are using for this meeting is a platform, right?
Yes.
Good. This best describes platform as a service. Are you with me? So since it
Yes.
is a platform which we are using for the purpose of this very class, it is it falls under this service model, which is referred to as platform as a service. And that's why what I
No.
have here on my screen, you could see that it provides the runtime environment. This environment is a platform. Are you with me?
Yes.
Then the part you said you're confused, software as a service. I am saying that the software as a service allows users or allows you to use software service to end users. In business,
No.
you agree with me that you're offering a service, right?
Yes.
Good. Businesses can be in different, there are different categories for businesses. You can be you can be into trading and you're selling a particular product. At that point, you're offering a service. Are you with me? So,
Yes.
so since you're offering a service, the service model for such business is the software as a service. We can also refer to it as business as a service. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Good. I am saying that in as much as the various users are concerned, because in your business it's not just for only you, there are target customers, there are people you're targeting, and you want to be able, it's part of your goal that you want a cloud application that will be able to enable you
So reach
follow
out.
up with your customers. Hello?
Okay. Okay. I'm
Hello?
understanding, sir.
Are you with me now?
Yes.
Okay. Hello?
Hi, sir.
Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. Are you, let me also ask, do you have a business of your own?
Yes, I have a business of my own.
Okay, this question is also to everybody because we will be setting up our business on a very cloud application. So, on a quick note on that, just to make this software as a service more practical, you all will agree with me that in every business there are key we have and there are key aspects you need to um, put into consideration. Every business has a customer, right? Every business has a supplier. Every business has its key activities. Every business
Yes.
has its product. It's either the business is selling a product or is offering a
Or
service.
service. Yes.
That's why most times we can say in some of these applications, it's always there for you to choose. Is it a service-based business or a product-based business? Are you with me? We can also bring it down to, to the business world in general. We have firms which are just focused on rendering services. But now, the software as a service, yeah, is integrating everything that in as much as you want to render services, you want to sell whatever to your clients or customers, that the service model for this very um, aspect is the software as a service, since it allows you to use the cloud application as a service to end users. Do you understand now?
Yes. Yes, I'm following, sir.
So these are the various service models that we have. Okay, and there are other ones. We have the network as a service, we have the identity as a service. But these very ones is by the time we are doing practical, you get to understand the identity as a service. For example, when you're logging into your email address, each time you put your, maybe you just put your username, you notice the thing just pops up and asks you to just put password. So all those ones falls on the identity aspect. The network as a service, I've already explained that aspect. You being able to have made explanations for those very ones. And this is what helps you to achieve your aim. Are you there? This is what helps you to achieve your aim as part of the benefits of cloud computing. And some of you might be wondering, why do we need to, take our business to cloud? What are we to benefit? I've mentioned all this before when I was explaining the various and the various applications, and when I talked about that we are in the connected economy, where a lot of businesses are now thriving on cloud. That's where you can make your cash, you can be able to track your business records and follow up with your clients. And with cloud computing, you'll be able to achieve all your business goals. You'll be able to access your applications over the internet. It's saved since it's passworded, so the security aspect is enabled for you. You can configure your application at any time as per your requirements. You can configure it. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we are following, sir.
Okay, I was hearing some background noise, so I wanted to know if other persons wants to ask a question. Anyone have a question so far? Hello? Hello?
We're here, we're listening.
Do you have a question? Does anyone have a question so far, or I should proceed?
No, you can continue.
Okay. Also, quickly, I want to also give an explanation on the various components of cloud computing. Cloud computing has components, and it's very, very important that you get to understand the various components of a cloud program. So far, so good. I believe you're all following, and this is a helpful one for you to get to understand cloud computing better. So quickly, I'll be sharing my screen again so you get to see what I'm referring to on this components aspects area. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Hello, can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so for the components, we have the architectural components. There are two, and we have the infrastructural components. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I said we have the architectural components and we have the infrastructural components. Now, it should not just be a too much grammar for you not to understand. The architectural components just comprises of many cloud components, and each of them are just referred to a network. So the cloud architecture, the architectural components, we have two. There are two components. That's two parts. These are the front end and the back end. I believe you're with me. Hello?
Yes, we are with you, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I said the architectural components, there are two, the front end and the back end. Now, each of these ends are connected through a network. Remember, I referred to network as a service. So each of these, please turn off your, please, the background noise over there. I think should be from Emmanuel. So each of these very, between these two, I've made mention of the front end and the back end, which makes up the architectural component of cloud computing. Each of them are connected through a network, usually the internet. Okay, so for the front end, it just refers to, for that of the front end, for the front end, it just refers to the client part of cloud computing, the client parts of cloud computing. Okay. Hello, can anyone hear me there?
Yes,
Can anyone hear me there?
yes, sir.
Okay. So I said that for the architectural components of cloud computing, that there are two components. We have the front end and the back end. So I want to explain both of them now for you to understand. I want to explain the
Fine.
both of them. So now take note, for the front end, for the front end, it refers to the client part of cloud computing system. For example, this very platform, which we said is platform as a service, it's on cloud. That's why we are able to connect from our different locations remotely. So therefore, this very part where you can see me, This very part where your customers, for example, you want to purchase a product on Jumia, and you go and log into Jumia, and you're seeing the product, the screen and everything. That refers to the front end. Do you understand? Do you get this explanation? Hello?
Yes, we do. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So this just explains the front end aspect. Another example I will give you is the web browser. The web browser, maybe if I'm to share my screen again with you, and I am saying that I want to browse, let's say I want to browse the sourcing business websites, and we are coming to say the website is on, maybe we are saying that it's on www.sourcingmentorship, blah, blah, blah. That is the front end of a cloud computing system. I believe this is clear. So also, the other component is the back end. So the back end is also, out of the two components which I made mention of, the back end is the other. Now the back end just refers to the cloud itself. It refers to the cloud itself. It consists of the resources required to provide cloud computing service. I come again. The back end is what consists of those resources that are required to provide a cloud computing service. For example, you want to provide a cloud computing service, one of the resources could be you looking at your data storage, you looking at the deployment model and server. So all this falls under the back end. Are you all following? Hello, are you all following?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I want to give you some important points to note, please. Some important points to note as regards these components. Now, it is the responsibility of the back end to provide the built-in security mechanism. For example, the number of access users. If it comes to like a business cloud application, maybe in business, for those who are into trading, by the time you start selling your products, you should be issuing out invoice or receipt to your customers who purchase from you. So in that regards, it's also here in the back end that you'll be setting up the number of invoicing that you should be able to print out at a particular time due to the access limit. And concerning this, let me also mention that cloud applications are majorly on different packages. It's on different packages. And to make it clearer to you, for example, if you go to search for some of these applications for your business, you'll be seeing standard version and standard package, premium package, free package. Now, these different packages free will be limited, will be little. The features for standard, we have some added features to free. If you cover all features free package has, and some extra features. The feature for premium will be having all features in free, all features in standard, and some new features. That's how it proceeds. Now, the reason for this is why it's important for you to first of all do the aspect of cloud computing planning, which I made mention of before now. It's important you plan. You have to list out all your business requirements. You have to list out your business workflow. You have to list out your business processes first. Look at the key areas of your business. Who are your key customers? Who are your target areas? Who are your key suppliers? What are your key activities? Before you now begin to say you want to go and set up online. So you will know which application you will be going for, which of the package you'll be going for from a cloud service provider. So not at the end of the day, you've set up your business online and you find out that there are some things you cannot do. For example, when it comes to access, some applications for like standard normally used to be for 3 users only. So not at the end of the day, you want to five of your employees to be able to collaborate together with you and you're having a challenge in that very aspect, you should know where it is coming from. So all this falls into the back end. It is at this back end that all this setup will be made. While the front end has to do with the client part of the cloud computing system, the part where clients will see. I believe this is understandable. Hello? Feedback, please. Hello, at Emmanuel, at John Atta, at Ero Emmanuel.
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
How about Odewale Esther? Some some persons, okay. I just believe you're following so that not when we start setting up and questions will start coming up. So I want you to get this part, which I said they are more like ingredients. So that is just for the first components. Let me go back to my screen. That is just for the first components, which I've just made mention of, which is the architectural component. So the next one we have is the infrastructural. Um, Infrastructural component does is that it just consists of servers, storage, and network. I repeat, it takes care of the server, the storage, and the network, and also the management of the software and deployment of the software, and also the platform. So both the platform you're using, the storage, the network connection, all this falls under cloud infrastructure. Is everyone with me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
At Emmanuel, can you hear me? At John, can you hear me? We are working with internet.
Yes, sir.
Why I'm asking is because in cloud, your internet connection must be strong. Otherwise, you'll be having some challenges. So I have to ask you because most of these our network
Yes.
like MTN, Airtel, they do normally have issues. So can you hear me?
We are
Did
following,
you hear
sir,
the
but we are
last?
having some network issues.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, let me come again. Let me come again on the infrastructure components. Now, I said that for the can you hear me? For the infrastructure components, I said that it
Yes.
consists of servers. It consists of the server, the storage, the management of the software, the deployment, and the platform virtualization. Remember when I made mention of virtualization as part of the cloud technologies, you being able to share files by doing all that with your clients. By doing all that, I'm referring to virtualization. Don't worry, very soon I will show you some of the cloud computing applications we have for businesses. Your business may be a photography, or maybe you're into video editing. There are a lot of applications you can use that will aid you for those kind of businesses so far also. So I'll soon get to that point. So just understand these infrastructure aspects. Okay. So this is very important. The infrastructure component is where the deployment of the software falls under. And the deployment of the software helps you, or the software deployment helps you to deploy and integrate application on the cloud. Since it's on cloud, it's already easy. There is nothing like software mapping where you have to go with an engineer or you have to have some, knowledge. No, you don't need that. That's why part of the prerequisites for this class for participants, you don't need any too much advanced knowledge in computer. All you need is just to understand some of the controls on your system and some little database and management, and that's all. So I also made mention that infrastructure components also comprises of, I said it comprises of deployment software. That's the deployment model, where I say that it takes care of you being able to deploy, set up, and integrate the application. The infrastructure also takes care of the comprises of the network. Now, the network is the key component of a cloud computing infrastructure because without network, you cannot access it. If my network should go off now, which it has been going off, you will notice that you will not be able to hold this. I will not be here, and I have to reconnect again. So the network is the component of cloud, is the key component of a cloud computing application, and it falls under the infrastructure aspect or the infrastructure component. Why? That of the architectural component, like I said, is divided into two, where we have the front end component, which has to do with the client, the part the client will see, and the back end. And I gave a good example of the front end. I said a web browser, the web browser on your screen, you can see it. That's a good one for that of the front end. And I also made mention of the back end, that it is the cloud itself, it is the software itself, that's the back end. It takes care of everything about the cloud itself. Then I proceeded to the infrastructure components, where I said that for the infrastructure, it consists of the networking, the deployment. And I said that for the deployment models or the deployments, that it helps you to deploy all or to deploy and integrate applications on the cloud. Okay. And don't mix up things. When I started, I said that for cloud, when we are referring to cloud, we are just talking about the internet. It's another word. At that point, I proceeded to network, which I said is one of the sub-components of the infrastructure components. Let me share my screen so you understand what I'm talking about. Or infrastructure component, which I said that the network is the key component of the cloud infrastructure. On number two, infrastructural component. I said it is the key part. Now, take note of this. From next class, we will not be looking at all this theory. When we come to the training, we move straight to practical. So that's more reason why you should pay attention to this very theoretical aspect, which I'm referring to as ingredients. Okay. So still on the network is a key component of the cloud infrastructure, and it allows you to connect cloud services over the internet. It is also possible to deliver network too, over the internet, and to also customize, your settings. So the server, infrastructural components also. So servers helps to compute the resource sharing, you being able to share your files and every other things online, and other services such as allocation of resources. So the server does that. The storage, if you know what storage is, the cloud uses the distributed file system for storage purpose. So with that, you could be able also to take note of that. So these are very, very important as far as the components of cloud computing is concerned. Are you all
Hello,
with me?
hello, sir.
Who is speaking? Your name?
Emmanuel, sir.
Okay, Manuel, do you have a
Please,
question?
can you, yes, can you explain more deep about the storage?
Okay, the storage.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I said that the storage is also a component of the infrastructural aspects of cloud computing. Definitely, when let's say we got started with a cloud application online and you've started imputing all your business records or customers lists, suppliers lists, and other key informations. Storage capacity is important. Are you with me, Emmanuel?
Yes, I'm with you.
Good. By storage, we are looking at the size. How it's going to be able to accommodate number of files that will be what? Imputed. Are you with me?
Yes.
But the good thing is that the storage system is important because it is part of what
Yes.
will make the cloud computing application for you to be reliable. Are you with me? Now, the good thing is that for I told you that we are looking at software as a service. Are you there? Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Not
Yes, I'm hearing you, sir.
Okay. I said that we are looking at software as a service, which, as far as it is concerned, you won't have much work to be doing in these infrastructural components. You don't have tax there. Are you with me? You don't have tax here. The cloud provider has already provided all those setup. All you need to do is just to sign up and do what? Proceed. Are you with me?
Yes.
I'm just giving you the basic foundational explanation so you'll be well guided on those very parts. Are you with me? Now, in as much as the storage is important, the truth is that if one of the storage
Yes, go
resources
on, please,
fail,
sir.
then it can be extracted from another one, which makes cloud computing more reliable. And that's the major purpose why in cloud computing there is always the export and import part, where you can import your data and you also export your data to other applications. Are you with me?
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
Okay. So in line with all these little ones I've spoken about, next thing you need to know is called cloud computing operations. So cloud computing operations is also very, very important because you need to understand how cloud computing operates. This is very, very important to you. Yes, you have understood the different models we have where I made mention of the public cloud model, which I said that it makes it easily for the general public to access your business. It could be Amazon, Microsoft, and others, cloud providers, which you could use to reach out to enable that. And it takes care of different areas. It's also good for you to understand the cloud computing operations because this is very, very important too. And cloud computing operations can be performed using a web application or mobile based applications. Do you all get this? Hello?
Yes,
Do you all get what I'm saying?
yes. For my own side, I'm following.
Um, at John Atta, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Odewale Esther, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir.
Odewale Esther, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Manuel. Where are the others? Okay, so we'll proceed since maybe they are currently not here. So for the cloud computing operations, like I said, it enables you to deliver, for you to be able to deliver cloud services. Today, it's good to mention that today cloud computing operations have become popular. Cloud computing applications have become popular and widely employed by many of the organizations. And the reason for this is because it allows them to perform all business operations over the internet. And these operations can be performed, like I said, in using either a web application or a mobile-based application. Now, there are a number of operations that are performed in cloud. there are number of applications or operations that are there are number of operations that are performed in cloud. I will just list some of them. There are things you already know or you've heard of. We have email marketing. So when I am making mention of cloud computing operations, it's not something that I'm coming from a far viewpoint. No, it's something that we all know. It's just those kind of operations that goes on cloud. We have email marketing, it's a popular one. We have content management, it's a popular one. We wide reporting. We have online marketplace like the Jumia, the Amazon, any e-commerce that you know of, all those are online marketplace. We have accounting services. In every business, this aspect of you being able to manage your finance is important, and that's why you should also be looking at how you could that very aspect can be integrated. Because in as much as the aim or motive of your business is to make profits, then definitely you should look into that key aspect of being able to manage your finance so as to have a true and fair position in terms of the financial performance and financial position of your business. So part of the cloud of computing operations we also have is human resources management and recruitment systems. So these are just some of them that I will be looking at. So quickly, now most times the question that raises on these cloud computing operational areas is how do we manage cloud operations? Now there are several ways you can manage cloud operations. There are several ways you can do this to manage your day-to-day operations on cloud. I want to share them with you now. Can you hear me at John, at Emmanuel? John, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm talking about how you can manage these cloud operations. I believe you heard the cloud operations I listed: email marketing, content management, system-wide reporting. I made mention of the online marketplace, financial services. I made mention of the recruitment and human resource aspect. Now I'm saying that most times the question becomes, how do I manage these cloud operations or these operations on cloud? And I am saying that there are several ways you can manage day-to-day cloud operations. One of them I'll be sharing with you is a quick one on it. One of them is using right tools. When you want to be able to manage your cloud operations, you need to use the right tools. So therefore, in as much as we'll be looking at we'll be doing some practical, whenever you want to migrate your data to start operating on cloud, you have to ensure that the tool you're using is the right tool. You should not go and be using a tool that is not meant for editing. Maybe an video editing business, a tool that is not meant for editing, and you're now thinking that it will function properly for you. No. So for you to be able to manage your cloud operations, you need to ensure that the tool you're using is the right tool. Are you following? Hello? Are you following? At Emmanuel, at John.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes,
Esther Dewale, are you
yes, sir.
following?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So ensure that you're using the right tool. Also, always employ right tools, like I said, and resources to perform any function in cloud or on cloud. Make sure you're using the right tool. Secondly, make sure things are done at the right time. Yes, make sure things are done at the right time. Don't come and be procrastinating what you're supposed to have done. Maybe you're supposed to have imported your customers list already, set up, a database or dashboard before time, and you just left it that way. No, for you to manage your operations on cloud effectively, you need to ensure that you're not just using the right tools, but it's your duty to ensure that you do the right thing at the right time. So things should be done at the right time, And also thirdly, resource selection. You have to ensure that you're selecting an appropriate resource. That's selecting an appropriate resource has to be mandatory for your operational management. You have to select the appropriate resource. If it's customer, you have to set up the appropriate resource that will take care of your customer session. Is it for your goods and services? You have to set up the appropriate resource to take care of that very section. Am I good to go? Hello, am I good to go? Are you flowing?
Yeah, you can go on, sir.
Yes, we're
Okay,
following.
okay. So I said number one, use the right tools. Number two, on time, make sure that you're using the right tool, and ensure that things are done at the right time. I also made mention of resource selection, that it's your duty to ensure that you select the appropriate resource. Also, you also have to use efficient processes. What do I mean by this? Now, the process should be standardized and automated to avoid repetitive tasks. We will be using Zoho for our practical aspects. From Sharp 12, we'll switch quickly to Zoho. Practically, we'll set up our business on Zoho Cloud. I posted before now for you to have your business name and your service. I believe you've done that. If you have not done that, maybe you use the same name I want to use. That's not a problem. So why I just mentioned this is because it links up with this number 3 points, which is, yes, number 4 points, which looks into um, the aspect of process selection and processes, efficient processes. And I am saying that the process should be standardized and automated to avoid repetitive tasks. Make sure your processes are well, you know, arranged. Are you with me? Make sure it's well arranged to avoid repetitive tasks. When we'll be using Zoho to capture all these things, we'll capture all these things. So don't worry, just take note of this little ingredient I'm sharing with you. Okay. So also, yet another one for you to consider, it's quality of service. So you should always make sure that you maintain the quality of service. Whatever you're doing, ensure that it's of good quality so that you avoid to come and work on it later on. And that's the very reason why you should pay more, attention to detail, ensure that all your records and every information is accurate and in order, because you will be imputing all this into cloud, and at the end of the day, whatever you impute in is what customers will be seeing, is what you'll be working on. So ensure in terms of quality and accuracy, these are very, very important. So also use efficient process, like I have said, as it will help you eliminate, in terms of any errors too. So these are just the important ones for you to take note of as far as cloud computing operations is what concerned. Now, quickly, I will be moving straight ahead to some cloud computing applications that we have for business. Remember, I started this class by saying that we are looking at cloud computing from the perspective of business. So therefore, with the introductions being shared so far, I want to share my screen with you. With the introduction that have been shared so far, I believe you have grabbed something as far as cloud computing is concerned. So quickly, I believe you can see my screen right here. So we'll be looking at what are these cloud computing applications we can use for business, our businesses. Okay, so it has been, divided into different categories. We have business applications. For example, you can see right here on my screen the different breakdowns for these cloud computing applications. Now, Let me start by saying that cloud computing has its applications in almost all the fields that we have. It has its applications in almost all the fields that we have. For example, business, when it comes to business, there are cloud computing applications. When it comes to entertainment, there are cloud computing applications. When it comes to data storage, there are cloud computing applications. When it comes to social networking, there are cloud computing applications. When it comes to management, education, arts, as many as possible, there are cloud computing applications. So for the business applications, we have some that are just listed here. We have the Zoho, a lot of them, Salesforce, Mailchimp. The Mailchimp, what it does is that it is maybe for those of you who doesn't know of this Mailchimp here, Mailchimp is just an application that enables you to send email, to carry out email campaigns. Okay, so it is widely used by businesses to design and send their email to their customers. Now, another one here is Chatter. You can see Chatter here. Now, you can check it too on your browser. What Chatter does is that it helps you as an employee. Let me say you're working in a company, or if you're working for a year in an organization. It will help you to share important information about your organization in real time. Maybe you want to share important information about your organization, you can do that with this Chatter cloud application. Okay. Now we have Google Apps for business. This one is we should all know this one. Provided you're using your phone very well, not just to be Facebooking, you should know of Google Apps for business. So you can create a lot of context from this very cloud application for your business. For instance, you could create text documents, spreadsheet presentation. We have Google Docs. You can use that. It will allow you or allow your business to use and share each of these informations in a collaborating manner. There's another one here which is QuickBooks. Now, what QuickBooks does is that it just helps you to manage your finance. Since finance is important to your business, it's very important that you manage it. And QuickBooks is an application or a solution, a cloud solution, a cloud financial solution for a business. And like I said, it helps you to monitor your cash flow. By cash flow, we are looking at money that comes into your business and money that goes out, which we could divide this into two, where we have the inflow and the outflow. So this is an application on cloud that enables you to track your business cash flow. One of the reasons why a lot of businesses are shutting down is due to this very aspect. They are not able to manage their cash, and at the long run, it ends up doing what? Affecting the going concern of the business. So the QuickBooks Online is such tool which will help you to monitor your cash flow. At every point in time, you will get to know what are my top expenses, because definitely in every business there are top expenses. So this is a cloud tool that will help you to know what are your top expenses. It will also help you to track, for example, since you have customers in your business, definitely there must be transactions where customers will be, doing business with you on credit basis. You can also do such transactions here on cloud. You can sell on credit to your customer and be able to track it here on cloud. And this application will also help you to do that. It will help you to send reminder messages to your customers. Let's say, for example, I purchased a product from you on credits and I told you that I'm going to pay you in 30 days time. You don't need to, start memorizing this. All you have to do is to get signed up on this application, set up this very customer on the customer platform, make the necessary setup and arrangement, set up the expected payment date aspect, so that on that very day, the application will automatically do what? Send you a reminder message and also forward it to the very customer who this is applicable to. So this is very, very important in as much as you want your business to grow. So that very application is an important one, and I will also, because of this training, will also do some little projects on that aspect too. So your business, you won't just start suffering, in terms of not realizing the needed, um, seeing what you're supposed to see, the outputs. Also, it will also help you to create business reports. You agree with me that in business, reports are very, very important. So when you want to create your business reports, you can also use that application to also carry out such interesting um, tasks. Also in Nigeria here, we have taxation is important because in as much as you're doing business, to the government, we have different revenue generation. And in our country here in Nigeria, taxation is one of the modes or means of generating revenue, whereby government generates revenue. And in reverse, this revenue is also being used to develop the economy. So at the end of the day, your business should be paying tax so far as it's a registered business. Now, if it falls in the category of sales, if your business, you're into trading, we have what is called sales tax. Most of you knows that. That's VAT, value added tax, which is being applicable on goods and services. So definitely, you want to also be able to need an application on cloud for your business that will be able to track that very aspect, to monitor or to create these VAT returns, VAT tax for you. So you can also do that with that very application. The Zoho CRM that you can see here is an important one which takes care of, integrates the business workflow within your organization. It integrates everything within your organization business workflow. So we have the data storage, online file storage, and the backup. These are important ones that has to take care of you backing up and storing your data online. For example, many of you know of the drive, Google Drive. Google Drive is also useful and important. You may have pictures on your phone and you want to store it on cloud due to avoid some situations whereby maybe you got your phone lost and there are some business information, documents that are on your phone. And for you to be able to access this on cloud is very, very easy. All you have to do is to be able to know how to set it up and upload your documents there on cloud, because it's no longer advisable to keep things on your phone or on your system. Anything can happen. We are not praying for something to happen, something bad to happen, but for safety purpose, it's good you make provisions. Provisions are very, very important in business. So it's good you make provisions for your business so you don't end up regretting due to one outcome or the other. Please, are you following? Hello?
Yes, we are. We're following.
Yes, I'm following.
Okay. So on this data storage, we have box.com here. So for the box.com, what it just does is that it helps you to drag and drop services like files. If I'm to come to my browser now and you know, I'm saying that I want to log into box.com, it therefore means I want to upload my files on box.com, and I can come over to my browser, sorry, can come to my browser. All these things are accessible online. You can say www.box.com, and all you have to do is just to sign up and start getting all the needed process and procedure being imputed. You just have to sign up and start making use of this to see how your informations, can be connected to. So box.com is a very good one on that very for that function which it provides. Okay. It just require to drop the files, like I have said, into a box and access them from anywhere you are. We have Mozy, Mozy here. This one offers online backup service for files during a data loss. Maybe due to one issue or the other, you lost your data. It helps you when you're migrating to cloud. You can use this application to back up your business informations. We have management applications, Zoho Books, Evernote. Evernote is just an application that organizes the sticky notes, for your business. And also, if you want to read text out of images, you can also use Evernote. It helps you to locate notes easily. Okay. The Zoho Books is also a finance cloud application. It's a finance or accounting application too. It helps you to track your income, your business income, your expenses, your profit and losses in real time. What do I mean by in real time? As your business is going, everything automatically is what? Being created or calculated. It helps you to track everything. When you make sales today, it will record that very sales for you and gives you the reports. And that's what I refer to as in real time. So there are a lot of them. There are a lot of them. We have in education, there are a lot of applications in education. Many of us know of the e-learning, all those makes use of cloud computing. We have the editing arts applications, image, maybe those of you who are into editing of pictures or video businesses. You can just go to Move Business Card. When you go to Move Business Card, automatically it will enable you to do what? You get in touch. So let me quickly show you this. You can see the box. Okay. So let me quickly show you the one for the business card. So that you want to take care of your business card issue, your business. You can just come over to Move. The MOO business card. Okay. So you can see it's a good tool for you to be able, like I said, to prepare business cards. You can come to the business card section. There are a lot of business cards over here for your business. Okay, depending on what you want. Is it a mini card you want? You can come here and customize your business cards right here for your what? Your business. So, but this is not what we are looking into. I'm just showing you some of the cloud computing applications. So on your own, you can start doing business cards for your particular business. You don't need to pay anybody. You just go there and get started. There are a lot of them. Okay. Please, are you following? Are you all following?
Yes.
I believe you're following. At Emmanuel,
Yes, sir.
at John, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Hope I'm not too fast. Am I too fast? Okay, maybe network. All right. So maybe it's network. Maybe it's network. All right. So as regards to conclude this very section for the cloud computing applications for business, there are also, like I said, other applications. Okay. We have Google Map. This one is popular. We have Google Map. It's a popular one. it does same thing with this map quest over here. So maybe you want to get a description where you're going to on the map, you can just visit Google Map. I believe you're with me. Now there is another cloud application too for business. Since you will be dealing with most businesses deals with multi currencies. So maybe you want to be able to convert from naira to other currencies, carry out such transaction. One easy way to do that, you can go to that very application over here where we have XE. So you can just go to XE, that's capital letter X and E. It's over here. You can go there and do what? And set it up. You can go and set it up. I think I should share this screen with you. Okay. Please, can you see my screen? Hello? Hello, can you all see
Yes,
my
we can
screen
see the
clearly?
screen.
Okay. Can you see the XE, capital letter X and E? So this is a very good application. It will help you to convert currencies. So quickly, let's do a quick one. Let's just check that. So if I'm to go straight to my web browser, remember where we are on a web browser. We are referring to some of the components. Remember, we made mention that there are two components of cloud computing, the architectural component, and I also made mention of the infrastructural component. And you could recall back, I said that for the architectural components, that it is made up of the front end and the back end. And I said that the front end is this part you can see, the client part of the application that you can see over here. For example, this web browser is a good example of the front end. So now we are still on cloud computing applications, some of them, and I was only explaining this just to like refresh your memory. So I said we have the XE, which is this. It's a very good tool when it comes to conversion. That's what I myself I used and gives you up to date conversion rates. So we can come to the browser. We can come to our browser here and say XE on the browser, capital letter XE. So it's just into foreign exchange. It helps you to convert, and you can see it here well arranged. All you have to do is just to input how much was the amount you want to convert. Let's say we want to do a conversion rate for let's say it's a $500. I want to convert it from where. This next box is asking you from where are you converting this. You said 9 select your dollar. Now, once you have done that in the very aspect of selecting your dollar, next thing you will now be looking at is which currency do you want to convert this to? Which of the currency do you want to convert this to? Euro? Is it to euro? Is it to naira? These are very, very important key information you'll be looking at. So let's say we have $500 and we want to convert this $500 to our naira. We say from US dollar to, we say we are converting it to naira. You just have to type in naira, and automatically you can click on convert and do your conversion. And you can see how much it's equivalent to currently, which is about
Hello.
209. Are you with me? Hello, Emmanuel.
Uh, yes, I want to ask something.
Okay.
Is the XE an account a foreign exchange account?
Yes, yes.
Okay, but can someone use it for dollar arbitrage?
I can't get you well. You said what?
Can someone use the SE account for dollar arbitrage?
You can use it to convert.
That is the same thing now. Dollar arbitrage and business is just about conversion from
Yes,
different
yes,
currencies
yes,
to earn
yes,
money.
yes, sir.
Okay, if that's the simple one. Thank you for the information
Which
because I
one do
was
you
thinking of
use?
getting.
Which one do you use before now? Do you use anyone?
Yes, I use Pioneer and this thing and Gray.
Okay,
The one
Pioneer
they change
account.
it to this thing. Yeah.
Okay, Pioneer account. Yeah, Pioneer account is popular. It's a good one. So hope you have not been
Okay.
having issues with it.
I've been having issues, so that is why I want to. Those people they're not proving they are too very popular now, and they don't want to consider some certain issue again.
Okay, no problem. We'll sort that out. So quickly, so this is just for the conversion aspect. So
Okay.
going back to our screen, at this very point, I believe you can see the social applications where we have Facebook, Twitter. These ones are notable cloud applications. No emphasis need to be putting on this. We all know these ones. So in line with all these ingredients I've shared with you so far, on which the major purpose is to give you an understanding on what cloud computing is all about. I believe you're well grounded with these very ones. So quickly, let me ask, Emmanuel, let me ask some
Yes, sir.
active participants. Are you able to follow up?
Yes.
Okay. I believe at John, at Odewale Esther, and the others, I believe you all have been able to follow up with these very, ingredients I've shared with you. So quickly, in line with this, we'll be moving straight to a practical section, which will also continue from next class. Are you all with me? Are you with your system? At Emmanuel, at the others. Are you with your system, guys?
I'm not close to the system now. See your mobile.
You're not with your system. Then how do you want to learn? You're supposed to be with your system.
Okay, let me just quickly go back to the house so that I can do that.
At Esther, can you hear me? No, Emmanuel,
Yes.
can you come again? What did you say?
I said, let me just quickly go back to the house so that I can make use of the system.
Don't worry. If your house is far, don't worry. Are you with me? Maybe we just do
Okay.
setup for today's class. We just do some setup. Then you go home and do it as a little assignment. Then by next class, you all that have done that will give me your um when we start, I will request for your user ID so I get to see what you have done as per the assignment.
Uh,
I believe that will be
okay.
helpful.
Okay. If so,
So
I will go back to at
for next class,
the.
please endeavor to ensure that you're, and it's important that in as much as this is the very first class, it's important that you're with your system so you'll be well guided. We won't be just coming and doing only the talking alone. No, we do little talk
I,
and we also do some other practicals. So that way you get to understand it better. I believe
I will
that's
go through
helpful,
the
right?
record.
You said what?
I said we'll go through the record after the class and when I get information.
Okay, there's no problem. So quickly, we'll be looking at the key processes in a business. First and foremost, every business has key processes. Every business has key processes that makes up the business. There are key areas of every business. There is no business without different areas. And that is very, very important. And to many business, the customer section is very, very important because customers are those who come and do business with you. And at the end of the day, your major target is to get as many customers as possible. And not just getting as many customers as possible, it's also part of your wish that, all your customers, are being followed up in the appropriate, manner, so you don't end up losing your potential customers. This forms our very first task that we'll be looking into as far as cloud computing application is concerned for business. So quickly, we'll be making use of an application called Zoho CRM. So for those of you who are not with your system, please take it as an assignment for the remaining minutes in this very session. This class so far have been great on giving us an overview of all what cloud computing from the business perspective is all about. And we'll be rounding up this class with this setup guide for today's very class. And those who are not with their system, ensure to do this as an assignment this week, as I will be when I will commence on next class, I will ask for your user IDs. But those of you who are with your system, turn on your system. Let's get started. Let's explore and see, what we can do. Okay. So quickly, I'll be going to my browser. Let me share the screen with you. So I'll go to my browser and say, let me just say this is the cloud provider. So let me say sign up to Zoho CRM. Sign up to Zoho CRM. Hello, can you hear me? At Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, at Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I want to share my screen with the application we'll be looking at. Okay. Can you see my screen being shared? I just need the feedback.
Yes.
Can you all see my screen? Seems we are
Yes.
all having network challenge. Okay. We are having network challenge, but as well. This class was supposed to hold for the two previous Saturdays. For those who were following, we were having some technical challenge. So don't worry, we will have, as time goes, a lot of participants will be joining us. We thank God so far that today's own section it's successful despite some little challenges that came up at a very point when we were getting started. So quickly on your system, just go to Zoho CRM. So for the sake of those for the sake of every one of us here, will be signing up on this. Since our network is slow at this point, so we'll see how far we can go. Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, we're trying to waiting for the network to come up. Since we're having network challenge. All right, so quickly since we are just beginning this very class, Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So since we are just getting started, so the very first step here is to sign up. Remember, this is a cloud application being developed on the model called software as a service. And I was saying that we have three very deployment models where I say that we have as a service, or service models, we have as a service, we have it software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. And I am saying that in as much as we are looking at cloud computing from a business perspective, that the major focus area is on software as a service. And I said by this, what we are referring to is an application or a software that has already, been provided by a cloud provider. So right here, we'll be looking at this very application we use for this very area of our training, which is called Zoho CRM. So when you want to get started, the very first task is to sign up. The reason you're doing this is because this is the very beginning where you have to input all informations as regards your business. And this is the major reason why before now I give an assignment that everyone should go write up details about their business. So to get started with this, I will click on the sign up tab. Okay, I believe you can all see this at Emmanuel and Co. At Emmanuel, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
I'm still here, sir.
Okay. So this is just the starting. Okay, sir. Okay. So this is just the starting point. So right here we are having some trial period, and we'll be maximizing this trial period for this sign up purpose. So right here you will be imputing. Very important. You'll be imputing your full name, assuming you are the owner of your business, like you said. So Emmanuel, give us a business name. Let's work with it. Hello, we are getting started. Hello, at Emmanuel.
Yes. Okay.
Are
Let's
you
see
there?
this thing. Liberty Enterprise. Liberty Enterprises.
What is the name? Come again, you
Labors
said?
Enterprises. Labors Enterprises.
Deliverance Enterprises.
Lebars Labors Enterprises.
L-E-B, okay,
B-A-R-O.
L-E-B-A-R-O-E.
Yes. Yes. L L-E-B-A-R-O-X.
Okay, labor.
That is comma X.
Okay.
Labors Enterprises.
Okay, labors. Okay, okay. I get you now. I get you now. Labors. Okay. Enterprises.
Yes, sir.
So say labors enterprises. Let's use an email address that we can access over here. Let's use an email we could access over here. So let me use my mail for this. This is your business, right?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now, listen up. We are getting started with this. So we are looking at processes within a business. And we are saying that in as much as a business is concerned, that there are important segments in every business. And this is important because for a business to be able to perform effectively at the end of the day, these segments have to be well followed properly. And in a cloud computing application, all such segments that makes up a business is being provided for. The database is being provided for from a cloud, a cloud provider. And I said that the reason why we are doing all this is because we are looking at cloud computing from the business perspective. So here we want to set up a business on this very cloud application, and our name, the full name we are using, which is not just the business name, this is just like a full name. Let's say this is, we are saying the name is Labors Enterprises, but I will remove this and say, let's say this name, the full name that we want to use for the owner of this business is Emmanuel. So we'll say Emmanuel.
No.
Now to use an email address is needed. So I will say, let me use my email address. The reason for this is the security purpose. Are you there? For security reasons, backup. So this is very, very important that you impute a valid mail address. We want to integrate the whole business workflow and processes into this application. So we now have to use a password I'll be using to be able to do this. So let's still change this Emmanuel. At this point, let's still go back and change it to our Labors Enterprise. This email is already being used. Okay. So let's say we want to use another email. Let's see that's taken to. Taken. These are my own email address. So when you're signing up, ensure to use your own mail address and make sure the mail address is a valid mail. So we can use this alimited275@gmail.com. Then we can proceed to our very password to create a password, and the password has to be strong. So normally there are requirements when you're using a password. You have to make it strong. Make sure you use one capital letter. It should be a capital letter. There should be small letter to comprise of capital, small letter, and a number, and also a symbol. Okay. So I've just done that. So Phone number, you have to put your valid phone number for your business. To be your business line. So make sure it's valid, the line that is functioning. Okay, a good one here. Password cannot be less than 8 characters, so it has to be long. You have to ensure that your password is long. So let's try a number. See this will be taken. This is more than 8, so it should be taken. Let me also change this email back again. Something different. So once you have done this, you click on I agree to the terms and you click on get started. So what we are doing here, what we are doing in particular is just on how you can, get started. So let me pick a good mail quickly. Let me pick a valid mail quickly. peacebusiness20@gmail.com. Hello?
Yes, sir.
peacebusiness20@gmail.com. So let's try this. So click on get started. Since we have indicated the full name, work mail, we have created a password, and also other important information have been entered. Let me check the internet quickly. So while we are rounding up this very class for today, so far we have been able to look into a good overview on cloud computing from the business perspective. And at this point, we are setting up our very first practical session, looking at how we could integrate key major business processes into a cloud application that will be useful for the business. And right here, we are in the setup, which is all about getting started here on cloud. So for those who have been following, please keep following and also endeavor to practice with your system. Go right there to Zoho CRM and also do the setup, both with your name and other information that will be required. The network seems to be slow, but at this point, we are getting started. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay. So part of what we are doing is that we want to access the Zoho Dashboard. Okay. We want to access the Zoho Dashboard. So this very application is very, very important as it helps manage your business, both your customer relations in a better way. It helps you to streamline your organization in the aspect of sales, in the area of marketing, customer support, inventory management functions, everything being integrated in a particular or in a single system. So we are trying to sign up so we could get started. And also, since this is just the beginning of this practical session, we'll be rounding up our class with this very one. And it's also good to mention that for this very cloud application, it comprises of some business functions that are important to a business. Okay. Now, some of these functions are, for example, we could have the aspect of lead management. Okay, so I was making mention of some of the business functions that part of it for your business to be fully integrated on cloud. You will be looking at right here using this application. We'll be looking at the Salesforce automation, the marketing automation, the customer support and service automation. We'll be looking at some analytics, which has to do with the report and other dashboard. And we'll be looking at the inventory management aspect, where we have inventories like the price catalog, inventories like the price catalog, you being able to, manage your vendors and other necessary important information. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we'll be rounding up for today in this very program. As you can see so far, we have been able to get started going through overviews and signing up on the very application we'll be using for this part of the training. So just to mention a little on this, by the time this application gets open, you will see that we will be inputting some of the key business information into this application. And it's good to mention that there are some information we'll be seeing. For example, the models, which include tax, events, leads, and so many of them. So as well as contacts and other information. So all these will be made mention in our next class. So thank you very much at Emmanuel. Thank you very much at Eru Emmanuel. Thank you very much at Esther Odewale. Thank you very much at Chinenye. Thank you very much at Adenike. Thank you. And please in short. This will be rounding this class for today. Thank you. Emmanuel.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Emmanuel.
Yes, I'm
All
with
right.
you.
So ensure to do the assignments. Ensure to do the assignments when you get your system, okay? And others to continue from this point in our next class.
Okay.
Okay.
The assignment is to set up the account, the Zoho account.
Yes.
So how about the dashboard and other information that will be needed?
We'll just set up. We'll continue from that very part next training class. Just set up the way we have just done. All right. Once you just set up, just leave it there. And please prepare your business information ready. Are you there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. See you all next.